Welcome into the Gridiron Grind. It's Creta 3 and Jimmy G back for another week on the grind. Jimmy, Gridiron Grind Bowl last week. Got close in the second half. 3-point game at one point. Arkansas had a couple drives, touchdown, and a field goal. 13-10. Horns pull away, win 20-10. Wasn't the prettiest of games, but hey, as a Texas fan, I'll take it. It's a road conference win, rival game, hostile environment, 20-10. Texas wins.
And, I say, to me, as an Arkansas fan, the play of the game was we had just scored, had all the momentum, and Texas drives down. And that pass is really the catch. Golden's catch. And if you watch that, it's all fingertips. That's Jug's machine, the hand strength, because you were fired it, right? Had to fit it in the window. Great throw. To me, even better catch. When he grabs that and holds on to it all fingertips and then has it one-handed and goes, I'm going, that right there, to me, seals it. Because if Arkansas is able to stop Texas, hold them to at least 3, I think Arkansas has the momentum. The crowd's there.
Had the momentum.
There's a good chance
Then they get the ball back
down
10, and they fumble. And that's kind of when it was over.
Yeah. And that touchdown, and to me, I go, well, it's over now. And it's, it's only I forget what that made it. I go, yeah, but dude, I go, that's the play you have to have go your way. If you really want to upset the number 3 team in the nation, you got to have that go through his hands. You got to have it go off his hands, bad throw, something. But the throw and the catch, and they kept showing it. And then it was really, what was funny was, as you're watching Sports Center, that was the only highlight that they kind of kept showing, was just Ewers rolling out and throwing it and hitting it. But they kept showing it, and I go, that to me was the play of the game, because that sealed it and made it to where Arkansas would have had to. I mean, you'd need a miracle to happen. But
I tell you what, Texas defense just doesn't get enough credit on the national spectrum. I mean, their defense is so good. I mean, they're just good. From the front to the back, the D-line is good. I mean, if the Texas defense knows you're passing, they can pin their ears back and tee off. Colin Simmons, as a true freshman, he had 2 sacks against Arkansas. That dude can get it. Alfred Collins had the game of the year for him. And then Jahdae Barron, his numbers, he has the best numbers of any corner in the country. I know Travis Hunter gets all the love, and rightfully so. He should win the Heisman. I'm convinced of that. But I think Jahdae Barron, just cornerback's the best corner. Now, I take Travis Hunter, but from some stat-wise, Jahdae Barron has better stats at corner than Travis Hunter does.
So Texas, that'll be interesting when it comes time for the national awards, okay? Right. So Biletnikoff and Thorpe. Okay, well, you've got, the Thorpe Award, and then, like I said, Biletnikoff's wide receiver. So I think you got to give one. And, of course, I don't know if you give any of them to Travis Hunter, actually. If you're going to give him the Heisman, I'm like you said.
I think he deserves a Heisman. He'd be my vote if I had a vote. That's who I'd vote for.
Heisman, and then the Maxwell. I think you got to give him between he and Jainty for the Maxwell. Very rarely does the Maxwell Award winner not win the Heisman. It's happened. Right. It has happened. I believe D-Mac might have won the Maxwell and didn't win it. I don't know if Vince won the Maxwell or not. But very rarely does the Maxwell winner not win the Heisman.
It was either Vince or Colt McCoy. One of them, I do remember one of them won the Maxwell. Obviously, neither one won the Heisman. But you're right. More times than not, you find out who wins the Heisman by who wins the Maxwell.
Mm-hmm. And so, like you said, Travis Hunter, phenomenal athlete. But, Texas's defense circled the wagons here. Texas has an elite defense. Texas has a defense that, as long as the offense, and I'll say Quinn Ewers because he's starting quarterback, as long as Quinn Ewers doesn't put that defense in terrible situations.
Right, like the Georgia game?
Yes, I think that defense is good enough to go, hey, guys, offense isn't clicking. We're going to have to do this. And as a unit, I think they're good enough to get it done. It just depends on the offense not giving them, you guys are starting, you got to start in the red zone. So, like you said, like the Georgia game. But yeah, defensive lot. It was lower scoring than I thought it was going to be. I thought it'd be close for a while. I thought we would see. I thought Arkansas could get maybe 17 to 21 out of it. And I said the rest after that, I think Texas would take over. So it was a little low scoring, but then, we just got done talking about the defense and everything. And so it made sense. It
Oh,
played out.
I mean, Arkansas had like the 124th, 125th pass defense. So
Yeah.
a lot of people were a little concerned with Quinn Ewers' lack of production, the offense lack of points against an Arkansas pass defense. But yeah, I mean, he just played like non-aggressive football.
Hmm.
Texas did. They did it early when they got a turnover and they scored, and then it was like, listen, they're not moving the ball on our defense. Let's just not turn it over. They
Yep.
played very safe, the Texas offense. And then I was worried when it was 13-10. I was like, our offense hadn't done anything since
Hmm.
maybe the beginning of the second quarter. We're just gonna flip a switch and turn it on, and they did for one drive. Got the touchdown like we talked about. So yeah, a little concerning for Texas not to have more points against Arkansas's defense. Um, but like I said,
And
if that Texas defense keeps playing like they're playing, they always got a chance.
yeah, that's true. The best, what they say, best defense, good offense, and sometimes best offense, good defense.
Yep.
Saban will tell you, he'd rather have probably a good defense, elite defense than, some offense that can put up, Mike
Right.
Leach, RIP caliber numbers. Um, but yeah, Quinn, no interceptions. Arkansas unable to force any turnovers, unable to get him sped up really. Landon Jackson had that game will probably be on his draft tape because he's going against Banks and a good offensive line. But yeah, unable to get Quinn sped up and no turnovers, 2 touchdowns for Quinn. So and like you said, you being a Longhorns fan, you're going, hey man, I'll take it.
Yeah.
Especially there were
Well,
times in the game where you're going, guys, we are prime for an upset if we don't if
yep.
we don't take care of business here. So yeah, it's hard to have a bad win,
It's
especially
true.
on the road in the
Best
SEC.
road in the SEC. Looking at Texas, Arkansas 5-5 need to win this week to play Louisiana Tech. Need to get to a bowl, and then they end with Missouri. I'm just hasn't been impressed with Missouri. I can see I'm interested what the line's going to be on that one. I could be taking Arkansas. Missouri will be favored. Missouri did put up a
Mhm.
good fight against South Carolina this week, but Arkansas looking to make a bowl. Of course, Texas 2 games left. Kentucky at home, then at Texas A&M. Texas trying to win those two to make the SEC championship and then the playoff. So we'll see what happens with those two teams. This week we have 3 ranked versus ranked matchups. The first one's a big one. Number 5, Indiana is undefeated at number 2, Ohio State. Ohio State just the one loss to number 1, Oregon. Ohio State's favored by 10.5. It's come down a little bit. It opened at 12.5. So people taking Indiana. Jimmy, what are you thinking? Does Indiana have a chance here against Ohio State?
I've got to play in this game, and I'll go ahead and
Okay.
spoil it. Yeah, I think Indiana's got a chance. I think they've got a chance to not only cover, but they've got a chance to win it outright. You know, this is one of those games that you don't. You're one of those games that you circle all year, and you go, "Hey, I really don't care who we play." Within reason through the year, we're really focusing on Ohio State, and I think Indiana's got a very good shot. I think there's stuff we've seen. I think there's stuff in the playbook we hadn't seen yet, and I think it's all going to come out. I think you empty the chamber, so to speak, if you're Indiana against Ohio State. If you're Ohio State, you better be ready. Um,
Yeah, I
kind
mean,
of like
this
the
is
Tyson,
Indiana's got to
old
have
school
this game.
Tyson fight. Yeah.
Right. Indiana's got to have this game because they don't
Mhm.
have the resume behind Ohio State. Ohio State
Right.
still has the win over Penn State. So this is Indiana's only chance to have a big time win. They got to have it if they want to make the playoff. And of course, if they win this game, they're going to probably play. They're going to play for the Big Ten championship. Basically, the winner of this game. I know there's other scenarios, but basically, the most likely thing to happen is the winner of this Indiana Ohio State game makes the Big Ten championship game against Oregon. Oregon, I believe, is finished with Big Ten play, so they're already in. They have a bye and then they play Oregon State. So it's a huge game, and I'm curious to see what Indiana looks like. I know it's on the road. I would love it if it was at Indiana.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't know if they got enough to compete with Ohio State. I think it helps.
Yeah,
11 o'clock game. I think that helps.
which to me is just so awful, but that's
Fox.
the way the
It's
Big
Fox.
Ten's had it. I
Yeah.
mean, they love Fox, the Big Ten, all this stuff. I'm going, you mean to tell me one of the biggest games of the year? One, I mean, a game that the story behind it, the Indiana Hoosiers and the Ohio State Buckeyes, and we're not talking basketball. We're talking big time
Yeah.
ranked football game, and we got to watch it at 11 a.m. Terrible,
Ridiculous.
terrible.
Ridiculous.
It is ridiculous.
Uh, the second ranked first ranked game, number 14 BYU, who dropped their first game of the season against Kansas last week. They're on the road at number 21 Arizona State. Arizona State favored by 3. Arizona State has a chance to make the Big 12 championship. We'll see how that goes. Right now, BYU's in the 1 seed with 1 loss. Colorado controls their own destiny. Colorado has just 2 conference losses. Arizona State with a huge upset win of Kansas State last week, and that was huge for me. I had a regular season under on Kansas State, 9.5. That made their 3rd loss. So now the best they can do is 9-3. So thank you, Arizona State. Sun Devils are rolling. I think BYU has been struggling. I really see Arizona State coming ahead in this one.
Yeah, Arizona State, man, and I love that Arizona State starting when they hired Herm Edwards. They kind of kept this like, I mean, what Hines Ward's the receivers coach down there, you
Yep.
know. I love this. I love the celebrity coaches, and you know Arizona State. I think what he had, Lovey Herm Edwards had one time Lovey Smith on his staff,
Yep.
and you know, Dion, what he's got Sap, or it's talking
Warren
about getting
Sapp.
Sap up there. I'm just going, I love that because, you know,
You
especially in the age of recruiting and the transfer portal, that's a big when you can go and you're going, hey, not only am I an NFL coach or an NFL Hall of Famer, but I can bring over another NFL Hall of Famer with me and go, hey guys, here's what we can do. And if you don't believe me, just Google me, you know,
right.
YouTube me.
Speaking of that, did you hear Florida Atlantic? Of course, they fired Tom Herman last week. They're in talks with Ray Lewis to be the head coach, Florida Atlantic.
Wow.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean,
go for it.
that's what's reported. Don't know how much truth that is, but it's reported on Twitter. Um, I'd have to look it up. I mean, it was from I follow a ton of sports websites, sports journalists, and one of them reported it that they're talking to Ray Lewis to fill their vacancy. So we'll see what comes of that. The last ranked first ranked game is number 19 Army at number 6 Notre Dame. Army undefeated. If Army can pull it, basically the winner of this game can probably get into the college football playoff. Oh, my iPad just fell. But the
Oh,
winner of this game probably gets into the college football playoff. Army undefeated at Notre Dame. Notre Dame with the 1 loss again at home to Northern Illinois week 3 or something. Notre Dame is favored by 14. Notre Dame's already kind of whipped up on Navy, so I think a lot of people kind of see this game going the same way. I think Army is better than Navy this year.
I do
So
too.
I don't know. Eyeballs will be on that one. That's for sure.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if Notre Dame, it'll be interesting to see how many offensive possessions Notre Dame gets.
True.
Because I can tell you, if Army gets rolling, there will not be, Notre Dame will not have that many chances to score. So execution is going to be a big factor up on the Notre Dame side of things, as well as Army. Like I said, you've got to keep their offense off the field. So running the ball, you know, do what got you here. And that one, like you said, I'm going to be glued to that one as well.
Yep.
I think it's kind of fun. It's kind of cool when some of these, you know, the military academies, they're not only obviously everybody watches Army, Navy if you love football. But yeah,
Absolutely.
I think it's cool the fact that, you know, Army and Navy, you're going, well, these are actually 2 of the best teams in the nation. And we're not talking, you know, back when it was just the 4 horsemen and Army and, you know, then Stahlback and the Navy. Like this is a new era of football, and 2 of the best teams are some of our military academies. So that's pretty cool.
I love that it's the 13th week of the college football season, and Indiana and Army are both undefeated. And
How about
BYU
it?
just lost their first game last week.
How about
Uh,
it?
Pretty cool. Looking at the conference championships, we already talked about Big Ten. Oregon's done with conference play. They're already in. They'll play the winner of Indiana, Ohio State. Uh, SEC, Georgia takes down Tennessee last week. So now you have Texas and Texas A&M at the top, both with one loss. Then you have a cluster of teams with two losses, which include Tennessee, Alabama, Georgia, Ole Miss. LSU lost last week again to Florida, so they're out of it. So I think, yeah, so it's just those four teams: Alabama, Georgia, Tennessee, and Ole
Ole
Miss.
Miss.
Those four have two losses. So just hoping to see, obviously, Texas and Texas A&M play each other next week. So if they can both win, Texas hosts Kentucky. Texas is a 21-point favorite, right around there. A&M is on the road at Auburn. Not sure what that spread is. Let's look that up. But if they can both somehow find a way to win, then it comes down to win. It's a winner gets into the SEC championship game. Could you have any more on the line for that game?
Man,
So we'll talk about that next week, I'm sure. Let's see. A&M's only favored by 2 at Auburn. Yeah.
wow.
So we'll
And
see.
Auburn,
That's a
terrible.
6:30 game, night game on ESPN.
Jordan Hare. Mm.
Jordan Hare. I'm going to be in Austin, Texas, final regular season home game against Kentucky. So I'll be there. Me and my brother are going.
Do me a favor, talk a bunch of smack about them losing Calipari to Arkansas
Okay,
while you're
we'll
down.
do.
Be like, not only are you
I can do
guys
that for
going to
you.
lose, yeah, not only is Texas about to own the entire Stoops family, but you guys also lost your
I tell you what,
basketball
here's
coach
what I'll
from
do.
Arkansas.
I'm going with Casey, my brother Casey. So,
Oh,
he'll partake for sure.
yeah.
We'll walk into the game. We'll be walking behind a group of Kentucky fans. I'll make sure this happens. And I'll go, hey, Casey, man, have you seen Arkansas's basketball and their new coach this year? Man, they're good. Assuming, are they still undefeated?
No, we lost to Baylor. We lost to Baylor,
Oh, that's right.
but
Well, Baylor's pretty good. Well,
yeah,
I'll say something like that. I'll see if I can get somebody
yeah,
to engage in a conversation. And I'll
yeah.
just
Be
say,
like, hey, man, I think the Hogs are a Final Four team.
yeah,
For
they
sure.
got that coat, that new
That's
coat. I don't know where he came from, but
yeah,
Duke coach. Yeah, I'll see if I can stir something
love
up.
it. Appreciate
I can do
that.
that for you for sure. ACC, it's going to come down. We just talked about the Big 12. It's Colorado, Arizona State, BYU. They're all there at the top. ACC, it's basically Clemson and SMU. If one of them falls, it'll be Clemson. Or who did I say? I said Miami. It'll be Miami and SMU. But if one of them loses, Clemson's right there. I think Clemson has their final ACC game, and then they end with South Carolina. So that's where we're at. 2 weekends of regular season football to go. Shaping up. We'll know a little bit more after this weekend. Of course, then conference championship after that, and we'll see where the 12-team playoff is going to settle. In the NFL, we already know the Cowboys are out of it. Lost to the Texans on Monday Night Football. Things are bad when Brandon Aubrey misses a chip shot field goal. Cowboys are at the Commanders. The Commanders are favored by 10.5 Sunday at noon. 10 games in, I said we'll be 5-5. I was wrong. We're 3-7. So this season's over. Not much to talk about. Big news in the NFL: the Chiefs finally lost a game at the Bills, and now there's a new Super Bowl favorite in the betting markets. The Detroit Lions are now the favorite to win the Super Bowl, followed by the Bills and the Chiefs. What do you think about
You
that?
know, if I would have, it's one of those things. It's hard to bet against Mahomes, right?
Yes,
But I will
in the
say
playoffs for sure.
you need to start betting against him when he's playing Josh Allen in the regular season. Josh Allen in the regular season is like 8-2 against him. Of course, he's what 0-4, 0-3 in the playoffs.
Yeah, he's
So
never
regular
beaten anyone
season,
else.
Josh Allen always gets it, right? Bills favored by 2, end up easily covering that. And then of course the playoffs will come, and then Mahomes will be Mahomes. So like you said, the Chiefs finally lose. Dolphins still safe. They're getting together. Probably got together, had some champagne. Mercury Morris, the running
I
back,
saw that
passed
on
away
Twitter.
this
Yep.
year.
Yep.
So I think it'll happen. Eventually it'll happen. But I still think it's cool that only one team ever has been undefeated.
Yeah, it's very cool. It's very
72
cool.
Dolphins. But yeah, man. I mean, the Lions, I just don't know other than themselves. And of course, Goff has 5 turnovers and 5 interceptions and still wins the game.
Yeah.
Only
I just
the
don't.
Lions are their worst enemy.
Nobody in the NFC. The Eagles are the second best team, but I think that when I watch them, the Lions are just head and shoulders above the Eagles. I don't know if there's anybody now. If they had to go to Philadelphia in the playoffs, but they're not going to. It looks like they're going to get a #1 overall seed and a bye. Philly would have to go to Detroit. I just don't see anybody who could beat Detroit. I think Detroit's got an easier path. I mean, there's some teams in the AFC that could give the Chiefs, but you can't bet against Patrick Mahomes, Andy Reid, and the Chiefs in the playoffs. I would love it. That was my
Right.
preseason pick was Lions and Chiefs.
I'll tell you, man, it's looking good. And like you said, Eagles are the second best team. The Lions are who the Eagles were when they had Fletcher Cox and Jason Kelsey.
Yep.
They were a line up and hit you in the mouth type team.
Mhm.
Here's what we're gonna do, and you can't stop it. That's how the Lions are, man. The
Yeah.
Lions, and then you mix in, they can finesse you a little bit. They've got some skill players. Excuse me. And keep in mind, they also lose their best pass rusher, Hutchinson, during the Cowboys game. But
Yep.
so they're not even at full strength, and they still look this impressive. So, yeah, I think that Lions Chiefs Super Bowl pick is looking pretty good right now.
Yep. All right. Last segment. It's our picks. Last week I was 6-3, Jimmy 4-6.
Yeah.
So we got to get it going. I'm at 49%, just under 500. Jimmy at 48%. So we're still got a chance to have a winning record on the season with just a few weeks left. Let's see. I got 4 college, 3 NFL this week.
I got 5-5, man. 5
5
and
and
5.
5 is the number. Okay.
Weekends.
I'll start with the Friday night game. I like Temple UTSA over 55.5. UTSA, ever since they lost to Rice in like early October, late September, they're averaging 48.5 points a game. UTSA is scoring a ton. They beat Memphis a couple weeks ago, and Memphis is probably going to play in the American Athletic Conference Championship. I like Temple UTSA over 55.5. Just hoping to get anything from Temple.
There you go. Yeah, 8 touchdowns. I think you get that. Indiana, Ohio State, 11 a.m. Awful time for a game this big. By the half a point, wait till it may go back
Yes.
up. Give me Indiana plus 11. Um, I think it's either this. I kind of bounce back and forth between this and the under. Because it's 11 o'clock, it's hard to get stuff, it's hard to get the mojo working that early in the morning.
Right.
But I think Indiana is going to pull out all the stops. And if they lose, I think they lose a close one. They may shock the world and win this thing outright, but I think 11 is too many. So give me Indiana plus 11.
Yeah, I like that. If I was betting that game, that's what I'd take. Okay, I got West Virginia hosting Central Florida. West Virginia is a completely different team at home. They're a way better football team at home. I like West Virginia here. They're getting points, home team getting points. What's better than that? West Virginia plus 3 hosting UCF.
Nice. SMU, we'll stay over that way. SMU on the road at Virginia. Give me over 57. The Ponies. The Ponies are rolling right now, man. I love it. I love that SMU seemingly is back. And I think they keep it going. That's Lashley, former Arkansas quarterback. I think Lashley's just going to pour it on them. So 57, I don't think it's enough. Virginia will do their part, but as too much SMU. So give me over 57.
Virginia's been
Virginia.
playing good football too. So it'll be a competitive game. I like that over. Stanford plus 14 at Cal. Stanford just had the upset of the season in the ACC. Louisville was ranked team after just demolishing Clemson, hosting Stanford. Louisville 21-point favorite. Stanford goes in and hits like a 58-yarder to beat them. I like Stanford playing competitive football. Cal plays a lot of close games. So give me Stanford, and it's a rivalry game as well. Let's not forget the band game. Stanford plus 14 at Cal.
Band is on the field. Speaking of field, We're going Illinois at Rutgers, the birthplace of college football. First college football game ever played was in Rutgers in 18. Who cares? Illinois +2. Won't matter. Illinois +2. I just think Illinois is the better team and they're getting points, so why not?
Yep. All right, night game. Alabama at Oklahoma. They're begging you to take Alabama, and usually that's kind of a trap. But I was at a conference with some attorneys I work with this week, and they're all I work with Choctaw Nation. They're all Okies, and we're on the ride back today, and we're talking college football, and we were talking about the Alabama OU game, and they said, "Oh, that's 3-touchdown game." And I said, "Well, Alabama's only favored by 13.5." And they said, "You need to take Alabama and run to the bank because there's no way Oklahoma covers 2 touchdowns against Alabama." So this is for Tim and Dale. I'm taking Alabama minus 13.5 on the road against OU.
Hey man, insider knowledge. I like it.
Yep.
Kentucky, Texas, a game you'll be watching. This is football, not basketball. Under 47. I think Texas's defense, going back to what we talked about. Texas, again, I don't think they're going to do a whole lot offensively with A&M coming up and the implications, the national implications of what that game will have, not only in the conference. I just think Texas is going to go out. Defense may hang a goose egg on Kentucky. And that would mean Texas have to score 48, which I don't see it happening. A lot of run. I think you get the kind of the same Quinn Ewers. The guys is, I'm not going to turn the football over. I'm just going to kind of be, boring compared to what I have been. So give me under 47, Texas and Kentucky.
It's a good bet. I think Texas defense is going to shut down Kentucky. I do think Texas offense is going to play better. But like you said, if Kentucky doesn't score, if Kentucky's in the single digits, I don't know if Texas is going to score 40. Kentucky's got a really good defense, especially up front. They really have a really good defensive line. So that's a good bet. Okay, that's it for me in college. That's my 4 college bets.
Last one, Colorado and Kansas. Buffaloes control their own destiny. Give me Colorado -3. Coach Prime.
I love that bet.
Primed up. Colorado -3 over the Jayhawks. Go Buffs.
I like that bet a lot. I sure do. Okay, into the NFL. I just have the 3, so I'll let you start. You got 5.
I got 5. Bucks and Giants. The Giants are the only team worse than the Cowboys. Buccaneers, far better team. I think they win this by a touchdown. Give me Bucks -6.
Like it. Yeah, and Giants going with a new quarterback, Tommy DeVito. Starting
They're starting
Giants.
Danny DeVito, so it's over.
Yeah. Giants have given up. They've given up just at the Cowboys. Okay, at the Cardinals, at the Seahawks. I think the Cardinals are a playoff team. Seahawks had a huge win against the 49ers last week. I think the Cardinals are hot. They've won 3 or 4 in a row, playing good football. Kyler Murray's having a really good season. It's a pick 'em, so I like the Cardinals. I think they're the better team. I know it's on the road, but I'm going to take the Cardinals and a pick 'em against the Seahawks.
I like it. Last time Cardinals were a pick 'em here on the show. I picked them and they won, so I think that's a good pick.
They're a hot team.
Lions and Colts. Lions Super Bowl caliber team. Colts
are
kind of, yeah, they're not. So give me under 50. I think this one, I don't think the Colts will do enough offensively to hang enough to do their half to get there. So give me under 50, Lions and Colts.
Okay, Sunday night game, Eagles-Rams. It's a big number, 49. I'm going to take the under. Eagles and Rams under 49. I don't know how it's going to happen. I think hopefully the Eagles get a lead and run the football, and that's how it happens. But the Rams can score when they want to. It's just that big number in the NFL. I like taking unders when that number gets close to 50. So Eagles-Rams under 49 on Sunday night.
Broncos-Raiders under. I'm riding the under train all the way out this week. Broncos-Raiders under 42. The Broncos, one of the best defenses in the league. The Raiders, they can get after your quarterback. Not very good offensively. I just think the Broncos and the Raiders do not combine for enough to get over 42. So I'm going under.
Yeah, Raiders are a bad team right now.
Yeah.
Monday night, Ravens Chargers, again, it's 51. I got to take the under there on a Monday night football game. I think it's going to be a competitive, close back and forth football game. Both teams' defenses have played a little bit better, but both quarterbacks, when they're hot, they're hot. That's why the number's so high. But it's the NFL. I think it's going to be competitive. Therefore, I'm going to take under 51 Monday night Ravens Chargers.
I like it. 49ers Packers. Under 47. Both teams have some injury concerns. Josh Jacobs dealing with injuries. Packers side, Brock Purdy's got shoulder deal. That could be huge for the 49ers
Yes.
offense. Jordan Love, he's not exactly 100%, but he's obviously going to play. But injury concerns like that, when teams have something else to play for other than just this game, I think they hold back. So give me under 47, 49ers and Packers. And then for my last one, Pats and Dolphins under 47 as well. Pats are not a good team. Drake May will be starting, but Pats just don't have it anymore. Dolphins, they are sadly one bad hit away from Tua not being under center anymore. Tyreek Hill, he's coming off injury. So just give me under 47 Dolphins and Pats. Even if the Dolphins get going, I don't think the Pats do enough.
Agreed. And the Patriots have a good defense.
Yeah.
So that's a good bet. All right, here's our picks, our rundown. We'll start with Jimmy. In college, Jimmy likes Indiana plus 11 against Ohio State. He likes SMU and Virginia over 57. Illinois plus 2. Kentucky and Texas under 47. Colorado minus 3 against Kansas. In the NFL, Jimmy has the Buccaneers minus 6. Lions and Colts under 50. Broncos, Raiders under 42. 49ers, Packers under 47. Pats, Dolphins also under 47. Myself, Friday night game, I got Temple and UTSA over 55.5. West Virginia plus 3. Stanford plus 14. Alabama minus 13.5. In the NFL, I got the Cardinals over the Seahawks in a pick'em. Sunday night, Eagles, Rams under 49. Ravens, Chargers on Monday night under 51. So that's our show. Another week in the books. Had to do another week, another day later this week because I was at a conference. Wasn't able to record on our usual Wednesday night. But next week we'll be back. We can record Wednesday night, can't we? It's Thanksgiving.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. We'll.
I heard a rumor. They've narrowed it down to 2 people. It's either going to be Lee Corso. Jake Paul is considering challenging Lee Corso, or he and Logan are going to go get shovels and dig up Muhammad Ali.
Okay.
God rest his soul, and going to challenge him.
Could see it. Yeah.
So, hey, we could have another big boxing match coming.
Yeah.
So,
all right. Well, we'll record on time next week. We'll get it out like early Thursday morning so people can listen to it when they're driving to Thanksgiving. We'll do a big special because it's Thanksgiving Day, so we'll have some bets for Thanksgiving for sure. So,
love it.
Till next week, thanks for joining us. Like, comment, subscribe, YouTube, Apple Podcasts. We'll see you guys next week. Have a great week of football. See you, Jimmy.